Welcome back. Today, I want to tell you about a transformation story, and that is all about my transformation story. So, go and grab a cup of tea and kick your shoes off and have a listen and see if you can relate to any of this in your life. Now, transformation is a funny thing, and if we look back into nature, there's one creature that kind of makes us feel okay about transformation, that you have to realize that they have to go through a huge process to be able to start at one point and end up at the other, and that is the butterfly. So I too am working from this butterfly concept of how my life changed and transformed, just like the butterfly. Now, if you look at the life cycle of the butterfly, it starts at the caterpillar. Now, the caterpillar is a very interesting little creature. Once it is hatches or born from the little egg, what happens is that little caterpillar has to go through many stages, and all it does is it eats. Its whole mission in life is eat and grow and grow and eat and eat. But also it changes it gets bigger by shedding the old skin, and every time it has to get bigger, it has to change. So there is a point where this caterpillar doesn't realize what is coming in the future. It doesn't know it's going to be a butterfly. It doesn't know the transformation that's going to happen. Now, unlike the butterfly or the caterpillar, right, we are different in that we know that that transformation can actually occur. We see the bigger picture. But while we, just like the caterpillar, are in that state of the outside world, of eating and consuming and just seeing what's going on around us and getting bigger and growing up and changing houses and moving jobs and all of this and shedding from one small part of life into the next, we are literally like the caterpillar. And I certainly was too. I didn't know there was bigger, better, that there was calling, that there was the something that's going to come my way. And just like the caterpillar, all I felt like I was doing is I was eating and eating and eating. Well, literally and emotionally and physically and everything. And the time that I was just like the caterpillar. But there was another part of me that was eating. And I suddenly started feeling this urge that I needed to start learning more, this urge deep inside of me that something else was going on. I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know what it was, but it got me in a self-help journey where I started realizing I needed more answers. I had more questions than answers. Nothing made sense to me. Everything kind of seemed overwhelming to me. And what happened was I ended up starting to eat and consume books and knowledge and courses and videos and anything I could lay my hand on, from YouTube videos to everything else. That's how it started. And then courses on Udemy and courses, and that's how I found Mind Valley, and that's more courses. And I started digging into this different world of what life could be if I wasn't the caterpillar. But it was hard because I could see it, but I didn't understand it, and I didn't know how to get there. I just had this deep sense of I wanted that. I wanted that life of just being me and not being what life wanted me to be, right? So if you look at the caterpillar, once it has grown to full size, that caterpillar has to and has outgrown its skin many, many times. One day, it actually makes silk strands on a branch or leaf or somewhere, and it has to realize to turn inwards. And as it turns inwards, that whole body starts going into a metamorphosis. And that is what we call the crystallite stage of this little butterfly in creation, right? Now, if you take this butterfly halfway through its journey, going from caterpillar to butterfly, if you have to cut that little cocoon open and you have to go inwards and see, you would see just a whole lot of goo. There's no caterpillar and there's no butterfly. It is just goo. All right. So there's these imaginary cells, they call them imaginary cells, right, that starts attacking the caterpillar. And the caterpillar's body starts fighting back. The immune system starts fighting back. But eventually, these imaginary cells are so big, excuse me, that it takes over the entire caterpillar. And it starts clumping together into a complete new form that will eventually produce the butterfly. So, and just like that, I realized that I had to turn inwards. I had to let the world say, hold on. I had to start listening to what was going on inside of me. And I needed to be quiet. And for the first time in my life, I had to surrender. I had to totally surrender to a process that I didn't know what was going to be the outcome on the other side. So, what did that look like in my life? In my life, it meant leaving an unfulfilling relationship, understanding that I wasn't put on earth to be the person who was going to always just give and give and give from my soul. I felt so empty inside because it felt like the more I was giving, the less I was receiving, but I was giving from an empty soul. I was giving everything. The way I understood it and grew up was I thought I had to be of service to mankind. I had to be of service to my partner. I had to give up everything I wanted for the person that I was with. And unfortunately, what it did was it broke the confidence in me. It broke me down as, who am I? What am I? Is this all life is? Is there nothing more than this in my life? Like, do I just have to sit back and let everybody have the perfect life? And I am just there to cook and clean and make everybody else happy and be unhappy deep inside of me. And this is the path of going inward for me, in realizing that I had to make a massive change, cocoon myself, get rid of all of that, find myself and solidarity, like be inside and start growing. And not understanding what the goo is, or those imaginary cells that were going to start taking over my body, because I didn't understand it, just like scientists don't understand these imaginary cells within the butterfly process, right? Same with me. I didn't know. It was scary, it was lonely, but my soul was calling and calling until a day that it became so bad that I knew if I didn't do this, like it might as well be the last day of my life. And I did. I moved literally in the same day. I decided, packed, on the road the next morning, moved to a new city, moved back home, dropped friends, every person that wasn't going to be part of my life or wasn't contributing to my life or was part of that needing all the time, dropped it. I let it go and said, I surrender, I trust. And my metamorphosis started just like that of the butterfly. Now, the interesting thing about the butterfly is this, that once it goes through this process, right, it it's actually, it starts breaking free from its cocoon, and for a while it comes out and it's wet and it's numb, and it holds on to that cocoon very, very tightly, right, while it's maybe realizing what it is for the first time, realizing it has wings, realizing it has a different path, a different something in life, that it's going to see things that it never even knew existed. Imagine being a caterpillar on one tree and one leaf and climbing your tree your whole life on the ground from one tree to the next or bush, and suddenly you can go kilometers far. You can see the world, you can experience the sun and the wind, and you can see life and different flowers and colors, right, in a much faster and quicker way. And this is what happened with me in that transformation process when everything was extremely scary and I didn't know what was going on. I held onto that cocoon, that old life, for one last time while I was drying myself out, while I was understanding what was going on, while I was still doing the inner work inside. And I came out of that cocoon and I thought, well, I saw the wings and I thought, well, these are new. I need to fly. And as I opened my wings, I let go of that cocoon and I flew. And that's the interesting part of this journey. That happened quick. That happened in 6 months. In 6 months, that transformation from deciding, moving to where I was happened just like that. It was fast, it was hard, it was a journey. And yes, I still remember that caterpillar, but I am not that caterpillar anymore. Now, in this transformation journey, what happens is while you're sticking onto that cocoon, you often feel, I am that caterpillar still. You don't realize the power you have as a butterfly. But while you're holding on, your mind keeps going back to, I'm the caterpillar, I can't do this, I can't fly, I don't have wings, I don't know, and I'm still serving and doing everything else, right? But once you open those wings and you go, that's where your transformation of your life really starts. You start seeing the colors of your own wings. You start seeing what's inside your soul and what your soul's been trying to tell you all your life. You start feeling and vibrating from different places. You start attracting new friends and new people into your life. And it's a very hard inward journey. And not all the other caterpillars are going to understand that journey of that butterfly. And some caterpillars are even going to die as caterpillars by some stroke of fate, of being squashed perhaps, or a bird eats them, or whatever it is, right? But some are going to transform into that butterfly. And my question to you is, where in your journey, because you're listening to this, meaning somewhere you're already on your journey in transformation. Somewhere inside of you, you got this burning desire. There's more out there. I have to listen to my soul. It's not about everybody else. If I find that I can give on a level where I was giving on a scale of 1 to 10. 1, I can now give on a 10 because I understood and had to go through that transformation in my own self to understand how much potential I have and how much I can actually give. I used to think giving a 1 out of 10 was like 10 out of 10 work. It was exhausting. It was terrible. Now that I'm hitting on this level, it feels like there's 10 more levels above me and I'm just starting in all this burden. It's exciting and it's fun and I want to give more. Whereas before I didn't want to give more. I was tired. I was just exhausted. I was a caterpillar just going, let me rest in the soft cocoon. I'm done, right? Where are you? Where are you in your journey? Where are you in your transformation? Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter if you're still the caterpillar. Doesn't matter if you're still in the eating process, and it doesn't matter if you are starting with your strands and starting to understand that there's something else out there. Those silky strands are starting to build a cocoon that we're going to climb into and we're going to start transforming, right? The transformation process isn't always as easy. Sometimes it means hard truths, hard realizations, hard or even difficult circumstances, but the other side of that transformation is amazing. So the next time you see a butterfly, look at this and tell me, where are you in your transformation? So the next video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my logo and why it is like that. Till the next one.